Hey, what's up guys, Sir Emanon here, and welcome to another future match commentary on the channel today. So this is going to be the top 8 of the LCS happening this weekend, and this match is going to be between NCG David Hernandez on Tri-Brigade Zoodiac versus Flaming Ice on Prank Kids. And if you guys do want to check out Luxury Gaming, who are the organizers for this tournament circuit, definitely go ahead and check out their social media platforms, which will be linked in the description box below. But let's get started with this matchup here without any further ado. So it looks like we're going to have Prank Kids winning the RPS here, and they're going to be choosing to go first in this match. I didn't actually watch it the entire way through since I was tabbing in and out of matches, but this was the last one to finish, so hopefully that means that there was a fair amount of back and forth, and I caught the end of Game 3, which was pretty crazy. But anyways, we're going to see the Prank Kids opening hand going first be Pandemonium, Fansies, Place, Valor, and Nibiru. So a couple of hand traps are going second if they were to lose a die roll, but they obviously have their own engine going first, which is nice, as well as an extender if they were to get hand trapped. So overall, this is a very well-rounded hand. And then the opening hand for Tri-Brigade Zoodiac going second is going to be Imperm, Tenki, Strike, Nerval, and Ram. So this hand's pretty interesting going second. Imperm's not the greatest or highest impact in this matchup, but it still has some utility. And then they also have their Zoo engine to help go second as well to some extent, if their plays resolve, that is. But we are going to see Fansies being normal summon, of course, and then that's going to be linked away for the Meow Meow. Going to trigger the Fansies here. That's going to send Pranks and then send summon a copy of Roxy's from deck. Those two are going to be linked to summon for a copy of the Dodo, and then that's going to trigger both the Dodo and the Roxys, so going to banish the Place to draw into another copy of Valor, so very, very solid in this matchup for sure. And then Roxys resolves to summon a copy of Dropsies, and then going to grab a search for Dodo here. That's going to grab another copy of the Field Spell, so literally just a free card here off the Roxys. And then Dodo effect is going to be activated, attributing itself to add back Pranks, as well as the Fansies back. They're then going to go for the Pranks, that's going to pitch the Fansies to summon out a token. They're then going to link summon into another copy of Dodo, and then go for Dropsies, that's going to summon out a copy of Lampsies from deck. And I imagine it's going to go into Bow Wow here. Yeah, going to go into that, and then trigger the Lampsies here. That's going to burn for 5, and then summon out Fansies. And then they're going to activate the Field Spell. That's going to search for another copy of Fansies. And then they're going to set Pandemonium and then proceed to end phase. Going to resolve Pranks. So that's going to go and recycle 3 and then draw into a copy of the third Field Spell. So all 3 is seen in one turn. So this is a definitely a good setup for sure. Has Battle Butler access, or they can go to Washer if they want to. Plus double Valor Nibiru is pretty strong. We're going to see Barrage being drawn for turn, which is also super, super strong. This will be even easier access into the Zoo engine to help kind of force interruptions. Going to go and tribute the Bow Wow in standby phase, adding back Lampsies and Dropsies. And then going to proceed to main phase. They're going to normal summon a Ram. And then they're going to be thinking, so this is potentially to just bluff pure Zoo. We're going to see the Pandemonium being activated. That's going to go for the Battle Butler. So all the effects are going to be activated from Chainlink 1 to the Field Spell, Chainlink 4 being the Fansies. And then they're going to go and activate Battle Butler on top of that. So they're going to go ahead and resolve everything. That's going to send Pandemonium, summon out Roxys, summon out Dropsies and Lampsies, gaining life points and burning. And then the Place is also going to resolve as well. So Imperm is going to be used next on the Butler. And then they're going to use Barrage. They're going to use it to target itself, and then summon a copy of Thoroughblade from deck. And then they're going to go into Borbo. Battle phase, they're going to go and attack directly. And then main phase 2, they're going to go for Shakanine, and then Tiger Mortar, and then Zeus. So I kind of doubt they go. So they could use either of their hand traps here. I wonder which one they're going to drop first. If they use Valor, they'd have to probably use both. Maybe you just let your entire board get wiped because you have follow-up in your hand anyway, so you don't really care about this. So maybe you just let the Zeus go through. Okay, so it looks like Zeus is going to actually be met with a Valor, and they're going to use the other Valor as well. So they want to keep their board. Going to go for Tenki next. That's going to grab Fractal. It makes sense to like at least lose 2 cards instead of the 6 that are on board, which makes sense. But Fractal is going to be activated. That's going to send Nerval, and then Nerval is going to grab Chaos. They're then going to pitch the other Nerval to summon out Chaos from hand. And then Chaos effect is going to be activated. That's going to banish 4 to summon out the Shrike. And then Sure Egg effect is going to be activated. That's going to banish the Battle Butler. And then from here, they're going to link into a copy of Farigit. That's going to trigger the Shrike. That's going to go into a copy of Kit. And then they're going to summon it off of the Farigit. And then Kit effect is going to go and banish 2 to go for the Ancient Warrior Link monster. They're going to set Strike. And then they're going to pass end phase. They're going to use the Ancient Warrior Link to bounce the copy of Lampsies to hand. And then pass. I wonder why they did that. Maybe just to have one fewer body, I guess, because I mean Tenki isn't doing a whole ton right there. But it's interesting that they chose to use it during the end phase. But we're gonna see an Instant Fusion top deck. They're gonna go ahead and use Pranks, pitching the Field spell. That's gonna generate a token, and then they're gonna link summon into a copy of Dodo. They're going to go and trigger Roxy's and Dodo and the Field spell to reduce all the stats of the opponent's monsters. They're going to also search for Pandemonium, and then they're going to banish Lampsies, draw into Imperm. So that ended up actually being the fodder for Roxy's, which is pretty interesting. So clearly they weren't super reliant on it, because, I mean, they had Fansies already, which they knew about because of the Field spell activation. So, yeah, that was a pretty interesting decision. I'm still curious as to why this was used. If you guys have any ideas, please leave a comment. I might be missing something pretty obvious. But carrying on here, we're going to see an overlay into a copy of Toad. And then they're going to normal summon this copy of Fansies here. That's going to be linked into a copy of Meow Meow. Fansies is going to send Roxy's to summon out a copy of Lampsies. And then they're going to link summon into another copy of Dodo, triggering the Lampsies in the process. That's going to go and summon out Fansies. And then they're going to link into a copy of Nightmare Unicorn. Unicorn effect is going to pitch the Pandemonium, and that's going to be striked. I actually didn't see what the target was there. It was the strike that was being targeted. So that gets rid of the Unicorn. So no access code right here, at least not right now. But they do have Instant Fusion, so they can get to it if they need to. They're going to summon out Rocket Ride off of that. And then Rocket Ride effect is going to go and tribute itself, summon back the Bow Wow and the Dodo. And then they're going to go and link summon into a copy of Access Code. So that's going to gain 2k attack. And then on resolution, the Ancient Warrior Link is going to be used. That's going to send itself to try and bounce the Access Code, but going to be negated by Toad. And then Toad add back Dropsies as well. And they're going to banish a Dark to destroy the Farigit. Zeus and Farigit both going to trigger here. So it's going to draw a Gamma, put it back, and then they can put Bear Broom under it, or Bear Brum. I actually don't know how to pronounce the TCG name, because everyone always called it Bear Bloom. But they could also do Shrike if they wanted to. They're going to go for Bear Bloom. But yeah, it's going to be game regardless. Yeah, because they just had access code plus enough bodies on field to actually attack for game there, because I think it was on like 5k or something. So game 1, going to be going to Prank Kids after actually a fairly good amount of back and forth, even though the game was only like 3 turns. But moving into game number 2 here, looks like the Tri-Brigade Zoodiac is going to choose to go first. If you guys are enjoying this video, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're new here and want to see more. But the opening hand for Tri-Brigade Zoo going first this time around is going to be Revolt, Judgment, Tenki, Kit, and Karos. So lots of Tri-Brigade names, plus some of the best traps in the entire deck. Super solid hand, not much to say about it. And then the opening hand for Prank Kids going second is going to be Feather Duster, Lampsies, Instant Fusion, Ash, and Fansies. So they have Feather Duster, but there is also Judgment for that. Plus this is chainable. So it's like not the highest value Feather Duster here. Ash is okay depending on when it gets timed, but there's enough extenders here to where it probably won't matter. So we're going to see Tenki being activated. That's going to grab a search for a copy of Rat here. So they are going to go for the Rat Pier line with Farigit to access more Tri-Brigade names this way. They're going to normal summon a Rat. This is actually possibly a decent time to go for Ash here, because like the Rat combo does a lot for this deck. Yeah, they are going to choose Ash there. And then follow up with a Karos, sending a Kit. Yeah, this is the only way that the turn wasn't going to end on just Trident. So having the Karos there was really good. Kit going to send Nerval, and then Nerval to add Kit. And then they're going to go for Karos effect. That's going to banish 2 to summon out a copy of the Ancient Warrior Link monster. And then they're going to go and summon a copy of Trident. And then they're going to pass. After setting 2, of course. So this is 4 interruptions, which is definitely really good. We're going to see another Prankids being top decked here, being Roxy's. It's going to be super hard for Prankids to play here. They're going to Feather Duster. That's going to be met with Judgment. And yep, that's the end of game 2. All right, so that was a very fast game 2 in comparison to game 1. So considering how long game 3 took, this must be a really, really good amount of back and forth here, hopefully. So moving into game 3, looks like Prankids are going to go first. And before we move into game 3, just want to shout out my patrons as usual. So thank you so much for supporting the channel. Definitely means a lot to me. And if you guys do want to support the channel via the Patreon, the link is in the description box below. But the opening hand for Prankids going first in game number 3 is going to be Contact C, Polymerization, Instant Fusion, Ash, and Ghost Spell. There are 0 Prankids in this hand. Wow, that is rough. But at least there's hand traps. And then the opening hand for Tri-Brigade Zoo going second is going to be Gamma, Kit, Nerval, Ram, and a Psychic Soldier that rides in a battle against the security forces on Currents of Lightning using an autonomic amplifier called Psyframe. At least they drew the Gamma, but their opponent's also not playing this turn, so it's going to be a little bit awkward. Hand is fine. It's not anything to write home about, especially... Yeah, I don't think this facilitates an OTK. I could be wrong about that, but I guess we'll see, because this is just going to be a pass from Prankids. We're going to see a Desirous top deck here. Okay, so that could change the equation. That's going to go and banish 10 and be ashed right there. Ooh, that is a very, very solid time to drop Gamma. And we also... Alright, we also don't see too much valuable being banished. Actually, 2 Nerval is sort of relevant for the grind. So that could definitely come up if they just draw into a Prankid next turn. But yeah, Gamma, that's going to negate the Ash here. Summoning out from hand itself in Driver. Drawing Revolt and Fractal off the Desires. So actually this is pretty good because now they can get access to Chaos if they want. Oh, but they don't have any more Nervals, so they can't actually get any searches. So they actually, this is super relevant because this Fractal really isn't going to do a whole ton. I mean, you could send Kit for extra fodder, I suppose, but there's no way to get to Chaos. Ooh, this is actually really awkward now. They're going to go send Kit, and then Kit send Fractal. Yeah, so extra fodder here is fine. They're going to go for Kit effect. That's going to banish 3, and then summon out a copy of the Doom Eagle. And then it looks like on summon, they're going to go for Contact C. I wonder what they could have linked into. Maybe they're just trying to prevent Shrike and more pluses. Maybe like Farid to summon out another extender. Yeah, I think this is fair. They're going to go Battle Phase, activate the Doom Eagle effect. They're going to chain Ghost Spell in response. Yeah, that's solid, because that would be game otherwise, for sure. Yeah, so you're going to take 24, 735, so it's actually not game. Yeah, the extra 24 from this would have been lethal. And then, what do you do in main phase 2 here? Because, actually, this is really interesting, because Contact C has to be part of the link material because of its effect. But the Tri-Brigade restrictions make it so that you can't use Contact C because it's not a Tri-Beast, it's an insect. So it's actually like a very strong lock there. Yeah, you just can't do anything. You just can't link with anything on your field. That's pretty strong. Yeah, this card is really, really good against like dragons. It's pretty good against like this deck, good against like Prankids, for example. So yeah, super solid. We see it a lot here in Top Cut. But yeah, gonna go and have those get banished, and then they're gonna draw into a Prankid name, so that's all that they really needed. They also chose not to set Revolt because it's not live with Contact C. So yeah, Contact C really shutting them down. So they're gonna go and start off with normal summon of Fansies. They're gonna link off into a copy of Meow Meow. I guess they were just anticipating hand traps here, but there are none in the hand of Tri-Brigade Zoo. So that's going to go and trigger the Fansy, sending Pranks, summoning out Dropsies from deck. And then from here, they're going to go into a link summon of the Dodo. That's going to trigger both of those effects for Dodo and Dropsies. So gaining some life as well as summoning out Lampsies, and then searching for Pandemonium. And then they're going to be thinking here. They're going to activate Polymerization now. They're going to go into Weather Washer. That's going to trigger the Lampsies effect to summon out a copy of the Roxy's. And then from here, they're going to go for Instant Fusion. That's going to go into a copy of Rocket Ride. And then they're going to be thinking. They're going to trigger the Rocket Ride. That's going to target Doodle and Fansies. Chooses not to use Doom Eagle there. I wonder when they're going to use this. Because that could have been a good chance to like use Doom Eagle on the Dodo, perhaps. But they're going to let that go through. Dodo is going to go and target Pranks and Dropsies. They're going to use it on the Dropsies instead. So the way this ended up working out is that if they did it on Dodo, then they wouldn't have this Pranks in hand, right? Unless if they... I guess they could just go and make another copy of Dodo anyways with these two, or any of these two. So I guess it's fair if they wanted specifically to deny Dropsies being added back. That's a pretty interesting decision. Would you have used the Doom Eagle on the Dodo when it was targeted by the Rocket Ride, or would you have done it at a later point, like here? Let me know, because again, this is a pretty interesting interaction for sure. They're going to go and link summon into a copy of Bow Wow, and then they're going to go and trigger Roxy's off of that, banishing the Pranks, and then they drew into Dropsies. They did shuffle, I'm pretty sure, but they're going to summon a copy of Fansies. And then they're going to go Battle Phase. They're going to go Weather Washer into the Doom Eagle because it's on 3k right now. And then they're going to go and attack over the kit. And will they trigger the kit here? Again, without Nerval, it's really, really awkward. They're just going to choose not to. They're going to set Pandemonium and then pass. So they do have... Yeah, despite what it might look like, they actually do have Battle Butler set up because they hard drew the Dropsies. So that must be unfortunate, shuffling it back off Doom Eagle, only for them to drop it or draw it off Roxy's. But we're gonna see a top deck Call by the Grave. They're gonna go and use the Weather Washer in standby phase. It's gonna bring back Lampsies as well as Fansies. And then they're actually choosing not to use Bow Wow here. They're gonna go for Nerval as a normal summon. And then they're gonna be using Nerval's effect. That's gonna banish 2. To summon out a copy of the Ancient Warrior Link monster. So that's a good way to get rid of the Contact C. Yeah, gonna go and target the Fansies with the Ancient Warrior Link monster effect. And then they're gonna be thinking, they're gonna go and link summon into a copy of Rugal. They're gonna go and activate the Nerval effect for Karos. They're gonna pitch Ram Ram to summon out Karos. And then on summon, they're gonna go for Pandemonium here. Yeah, they realized that the card that they drew was literally the Dropsies. Yeah, that's unfortunate because this was bounced. So, yeah, unfortunate. They did all that work to try and avoid that from happening, but it did anyways. Battle Butler are going to be used. Oh yeah, that's true. Otherwise, they would just summon the Dropsies because the last link monster, sorry, the last Pranker they linked away with did not summon Dropsies. Yeah, they had access to it no matter what, I guess. So, kind of thinking back to the Doom Eagle play, kind of do wonder if there was a better point to use it. Again, I feel like that's like maybe the point where this could have been done differently, but I'm not 100% sure. Again, let me know if there is anything different that you see that would have been more optimal. But Battle Butler is going to be used here. That's going to pop the board. And then they're going to also get their Prankets effects here. So it's going to summon out the Dropsies, 2 Dropsies, as well as Roxy's. Yeah, so this is going to be pretty hard for Tri-Brigade Zoo to win. They do have Revolt at the very least, so they're going to get some follow-up. But yeah, banishing double Nerval off Desires and drawing the third one, like in the opening hand, made the Fractal and Kit much, much worse. And I think that's what really was unfortunate about this, because they were in a very strong position up until that. But gonna go and trigger the Bow Wow in the end phase to add back Pandemonium and the Rocket Ride. And then they're gonna pass, they're gonna draw Lampsies. So now they just have all engine cards. They're gonna immediately overlay into a Toad. And then they're gonna link summon into a copy of Meow Meow. They're gonna trigger that effect of Roxy's to draw into Polymerization. And then they're gonna summon Fansies. And then they're gonna go and link summon into a copy of Dodo. They're gonna trigger the effects here. That's going to go and send Place, summon out Roxy's, and then Dodo going to search for Place. And then they're going to activate it. That's going to search for a copy of another Lampsies. They also haven't normal summoned yet. they're going to go for Polymerization. That's going to fuse away 2 to summon out Rocket Ride. And then going to trigger the Lampsies and the Field Spell. So going to boost all their monsters. And then they chose not to summon off of the Lampsies there. They're going to go Rocket Ride. That's going to summon back Bow Wow and the Dodo. They're then going to normal summon the Lampsies. And then they're going to go for Unicorn. They're going to Unicorn effect. That's going to target the Call by the Grave. They're going to chain Revolt in response. They're going to chain Toad to negate that. And then they're going to chain Call by on the Toad, which is pretty nice because that got a fair amount of value. So we're going to see the Rugal as well as Nerval being brought back because this was actually properly summoned. And then they're going to go for Shrike. They're going to go Shrike, Rugal, and Nerval effect. And then they're going to go and add Fractal. And then they choose to go and banish the Battle Butler here. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it matters because if you banish like one of these, like they can make access code no matter what. Yeah, it's definitely a rough one. I have to check and make sure. Yeah, so Meow can only replace during their opponent's turn, so... I wonder if banishing the Unicorn would have been better, maybe. Because at the very least, I don't think you lose. I could be wrong about that. Because, let's see, this is gaining 500 but losing 300, so it's on 22. This would be on 2k. Minus 3 is 17, so that'd be 39. This was in defense. Oh, but it could just be switched to attack. So how much would that be? It still wouldn't be game. Because this was on 32 as well. So 32, 22 is 54, plus 17 is 71, minus 3k is 41. Yeah, I'm not sure if banishing Unicorn prevented game, that might have been better, but I'm not 100% sure. But regardless, we're going to move on here. I talked for quite a bit there, but they're going to go into access code here because this is just game. So they're just going to pop the Shrike and attack for game here. So the match goes to Prank It's 2-1. That was a very interesting game 3. Again, I do wonder if banishing... I don't know. I don't know if banishing Unicorn was better there. So if they had access code plus Battle Butler, it would have been the same thing. Okay, yeah, never mind. Yeah, access code Battle Butler was the same thing. I just wasn't thinking about that. So scratch everything I just said. It was game no matter what they banished. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, not much else to say about that. That was a lot of back and forth, surprisingly. In pretty much all of those games except game 2, we saw Contact C put in quite a lot of work. Even though they literally bricked turn 1 here in this match, or in this game. But that's going to be it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like as well as any thoughts or feedback in the comments. Subscribe for more informative and competitive video content. If you want to, you can follow me on all social media platforms or support me with the links in the description box as usual. And until next time, I'll catch you in the next video. See you guys.